my opponent's feet are quite close together here. If I feel like his feet are together, I can walk my hips in. When the base is in this fashion here, however, it makes it easier for me just to start hooking the leg. Both times I keep my head in this space. Now we have the twist and body lock. The details that we need for the technique to work. We're going to look at how to use this to get takedowns. So, again, we're in this position. The first two takedowns we're going to look at this kind of come as a pair. Cool. So the first one is basically just a lift. If my partner or my opponent's feet are quite close together here, if I feel like his feet are together, I can walk my hips in and just lift pretty easy with that little bump. What will normally happen with this is if he feels like I'm going to lift, he will base his feet out. So if he feels me walking my hips in to secure the lift here, he will lower his base with his feet. Once he starts lowering his base with the feet, I'm going to stay away from the lift. It's going to be hard for me to lift him here because his centre of mass is sitting a wee bit lower. When the base is in this fashion here, however, it makes it easier for me just to start hooking the leg, securing this little outside trip. So I want you to work these as a pair. If Chris's feet are wide here, so if he's basing quite early, I will threaten with the trip. When he moves his foot, he'll bring his feet together. I start coming in for the lift. If I go the other way, I threaten with a lift here, I start walking my hips in, he bases his feet, I start collecting the leg, and then I'm looking for the little trip. So this is going to be our first pair of attacks. We're going to look at something in a minute off of these two takedowns. It's going to become pretty important for us in terms of moving on during the round. So again, I keep my elbows tight here. I don't want him to have the ability to pummel in his underhook. I keep everything tight. I start walking my hips in. If I feel like I can get my lift here, I'll pop here, and then I'll use my knee when he's in the air and just throw him. So again, he's up, on the lift, everything secured. I walk my hips in here, I bump him. I just really need him up on his toes. I don't need great height on this. Once he's light, I'm going to nudge him with my left leg here, and I'm going to turn. There's a couple of things I can do with this here with the body lock. I'll pull it here with my ear on his shoulder here. I'll just drive with my head, and this will turn his upper body into that space. With a wee nudge on the legs here, his legs are going to fly into this space here. So again, I'll lift, get him light, and I'm going to put him down on the mat here. Connect, walk my hips in, I'm going to lift, nudge with the leg, and I pull back with my left elbow. And he's coming over here. Again, once he feels me setting up the lift, so he can sense this here, he'll feel me positioning my feet and adjusting my hips in relation to his. He's going to widen his base here, so it feels like I'm trying to lift. Once he lowers his hips, once his hips are lower than mine, the lift is hard. It becomes it's a strength move now. I don't want to be doing too many strength moves during the round. It's going to fatigue me pretty quickly. So I want to look to be as efficient with my energy as possible. Once he splits his base here, I sneak that leg around the back here. I'm pretty much just back heel on, take his post away, and then I just pull him into that space, and I can put him down. With this, I want to make sure my head stays connected to him. If I trip him here, so I fake the lift, Chris is going to base, I sneak around the back for the leg. If I don't go down with him here, he falls over, he starts bringing his legs in, and now I have to deal with this here. Even if I go to the mat with him and my head isn't in place, he's going to fill this space with his frames. He's going to start putting his hands in place and start looking to get some space where he can turn his hips and he can wrestle up or shoot his underhook. If I keep my head connected to him with both the lift and the trip here, I can kind of tripod him and use my head as a frame, and it makes it easier for me to manipulate him, keep him low, and then move my legs into certain different positions. So again, I want you to think of this as a pair. I have the lift here, so I'll walk, I'll bump, yeah, I'm down, nice and low. If he widens his base, here I start looking for that with trip. Here, both times I keep my head in this space. so that he kind of get connection with my upper body, or bring his knees to his chest.